One. Hey guys, this is Dardomos of Dardomos Dominions, and we're back in with turn 14, and Valen's with me again.
Yep, we're going to watch the great elfing of Ashdod.
Now in this we see 5 different battles, and each one, or 5 battles by Van, and I want to see real quickly, and I have a guess, do you think they're going to be successful or unsuccessful in each one?
I think every single one is a successful battle for Van, minus the attack on Ashdod.
That's good. He lost one guy. Oh no. Good, good, good. Good, and good. So he lost about three of his little guys, and he gained 5 territories.
Feel great
Ashdod,
than you.
what's that say?
Gazlov right now is showing us a master class in how to play an elf nation.
Now I want to know from you, how do you stop this? I mean, like, this is one of the big things that new players say they hate elves, and that elves should be banned from the game. I think that on our new Dreamers series that we've got on Lucid's channel, Vanheim's almost always banned almost all of the elves. How do you stop this as a new player?
You want the lie or the truth?
Why don't you give both and tell me why each is each?
The lie is you go sit on his forts and you take his forts. The truth is you can't.
I mean, that's a little dark. So you just give up the game?
No, you don't give up the game, but you can't stop his raiding. Sure, he will eventually attrition himself out, but the only way to deal with an elf player is to take his forts. But while you're taking his forts, he is giving havoc to your lands. And while all this is happening, you have the sneaking suspicion he's building an army that you can't see to hit the army on his forts.
What's interesting is that, you have a lot of people that come into Dominions playing strategic games in the past. Civilization comes to mind. And you played Civilization, correct?
Yeah.
Have you ever lost a city to the AI in Civilization, and how often?
Well, when you play on the hardest difficulty, like Sid and Deity, I think that's what they're called now. It's possible and it will happen. But but to compare that to Dominions, in Civilization, you can see almost every single unit the enemy will use against you. In Dominions, the AI is awful with every single nation in the game.
What I'm getting at with this is that when you're playing single player, you don't lose many territories, and when you do, at least me personally, I take it personally, and it's like salt the earth with the enemy AI. In Dominions, you have to be willing to lose territories, and maybe not permanently, but at least allow the raids to happen and ignore them, or not, maybe counter raid, but don't play defensive. Do you think that Ashdod should have separated armies or tried to, predict every one of these and maybe PD dumped or something like that? When you're playing an elf, should you do that?
No, there's very few PD in this game. The Caveman Province. If Ashdod had a Caveman Province, yes, PD dumped the Caveman Province, which is expensive to do because Caveman's an awful PD to boost. But that is the only province that Vanheim's Vans are going to lose to.
Now, there are some exceptions to this rule, I think. Where you could get, I know that we've got like quickness blessed, what are they? The Garmherdings, where they've got a high attack, they got multiple attacks because of the quickness, and they can do it. And so we just, whenever an elf tries to come in our territory, we just park a bunch of those there and they, face plant. But how many, give me a rough percentage. What percentage of nations do you think have a good counter to elf raiding?
Okay, Scalaria, because enough Long Dead will kill anything. Any water nation, because they can just say, screw it, I'm hiding underwater. Birds, because nothing outraids a bird. And that's about it.
Now, we were talking about this. I can't remember if it was in the episode or after, but fire elementals. If you had a single guy there casting 2 or 3 fire elementals, who would win?
The Vans with magic weapons.
Even with the fire elementals, even though they're taking damage from the fire themselves?
It'll only be lesser fire elementals at this time, and I'm pretty sure a lance charge will kill it.
So if you have greater fire elementals, who would win that?
I personally would still bet on the Vans, because Ashdod has to spend 2 gems to cast a greater fire elemental at this point. Or no, they don't. They have to use Phoenix Fire. But I would still bet on the Vans. They're not. Don't get me wrong. An elf on a pony is the hardest thing for a new player to deal with in Dominions, because it's everything the new player hates dealing with. But they're lightly armored, so if you can find some way to hit them, the way Ashdod wins this war, which he won't do, he had mass cast of Earth Meld and Earth Grip.
That's what I was going to look at right now, is seeing if he's got the ability to double Earth.
That's a slow to recruit cap only.
He's got these guys. Oh, these guys are slow to recruit as well.
The dude in the brown robe. The dude in the brown robe.
This guy can only get Earth 1. I mean, they can still technically with a gem, but I'm not sure if that's really worth
You just want Earth Grip.
Oh, this guy does, and so the Rephite Sage. So you just spam these Rephite Sages, you get the Earth 2 ones, and then, I mean, it's not bad either. 1/3 of them are going to be Earth. The other ones can cast Fire Elementals. That's Fire too, dude. You can do, big ones with another gem. 2 gems on a Fire 2 will give you a bigger, Fire.
And then Astro 2s can Mind Burn.
Yes. And a Mind Burn does pop Glamour, correct?
I believe so.
So yeah, there you go. You've got 3 different options on how to deal with an elf. But you need to know these options, and what's really interesting is that you don't know them until you play multiplayer, because, sure as heck the AI is not going to teach it to you.
And you'll see that this turn, in the province bordering Pan on the bridge, Ashdod lost a fort.
Did they really? So they had a fort building here?
They had a temple built and a fort building.
I wouldn't have. If I was Van, you're winning this war. You're undoubtedly winning this war. Having a fort finish would actually be good for you, wouldn't it?
Except for the fact that as an elf, you can't take forts fast this early.
Oh, that's true. So okay. Now, if you were the Ashdod player, the income would be red right now because it's not our income. We don't see this. Do you want to explain to why, even though he has a fort, why or how income is traced?
Income is traced from your flag to your flag back to a fort. Unless you're Vanheim, it does not trace across water provinces you don't own. So you have to own a direct line from the province to a fort. Ashdod now has income again due to the southern fort on the farm.
Oh, that's right. He's also got his cap. So he's got, this one traces here, and then this one traces all the way to there. And then, interestingly enough, dude, he's got all of this too snaking down. So if we look at his income again, it's still going to be lower than before, but at least he's higher than Airmore.
That's a great thing. My income is higher than Airmore's income. Golly, good show.
To be fair, Airmore just took 179 gold province.
Yeah, if I was anyone who could see what that province's gold income was, I would run straight into Airmore with elemental spam if I had that, and just fight it out and get my Dom in there quickly before he turns it all into awfulness.
Like, at this point, if I'm Aramor, I stop trying to spread my dominion, and I try to make sure I have enough money to put forts everywhere, and then I put all my temples down in one turn. Because at that point, you've got so many forts. I mean, I guess you're losing out on death gems, but I mean, holy crap, dude, you're rich.
You're losing out on death gems and free spawn sacreds.
But you're getting, I mean, just from this right here, this is looking like a fort a turn worth of money. Maybe, 2/3 of a fort. This is just absurd amount of money. Yeah, I would turtle on this. Okay, so moving on. Sorry.
Everyone else expanded.
Aramor lost some undead to some, again, not a big loss. He's actually expanding well now. He killed these barbarians. These barbarians had actually killed him in, one of the previous episodes. And he finally has taken it. And now what's interesting is, because Ashdod and Ban are at war, it's gonna give Ulm the ability to take all of these provinces. If he was fast about it, he could even take into the mountains from Sitis, because Sitis is moving slowly, and their whole army is over here along the side.
Grippa got too focused on the cataphracts are everywhere problem.
Yeah, I see that. How do you expand? Do you expand towards the biggest thing you can find or the smallest thing you can find?
Well, there's the giant mystical it depends, but I generally, as Sitis, expand to where I can see Dominion, because if you can see Dominion, you know for a fact that there's either some resources there which you'll need for your Selbex, or gold there which you'll need for everything. Like if you want to look at Grippa's cap, we can see what troops he's making.
Pelshiniers, it looks like.
And that's the wrong troop to make.
He's gone through and made elite warriors, Sovak warriors, and now he's on Falchineers.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see Grippa should, in my opinion, should have came down here and taken this territory as fast as he possibly could. Because this is going to be hotly contested. Maybe he doesn't have scouts?
It says no national scouts.
And that would do it. So maybe that's why he doesn't actually know where anything is. But yeah, this territory right here, like these are resource territories which you can make. I don't know. I would definitely have expanded in this direction because these guys are pretty easy to kill. Like Pal ones are not.
107 would be a great place to put a fort.
Not even think about it. That's true too, because I mean you're blocking off this. If you could get in here and take this province, that would be another good fort because it also it would protect this territory and kind of get your mark on the east side of the mountains.
Yeah.
And then let's move on to. I think that's it. Okay. Let's move on to the next turn.
Marignon claimed the Throne of Misfortune a few turns ago. That's why we're getting Misfortune events.
Okay. Okay, 15. We're halfway to them. Okay, so Scalaria says he's working on his fourth fort. He's trying to move into water more. Started to get cultists in just one fort of the South Water. Okay, so what he's going to try to do is he's going to build his troops down here in Darkwoods so that nobody could see him.
He's also constantly worrying about. Oh, he got Pompey. He got like a great hero.
Oh my goodness! So you got Pompey, the thrice triumphant. I don't remember Pompey getting. I don't remember him having 3 triumphs. I thought that was Caesar or Julius that got 3 triumphs. No, Caesar only got 1, I think. I gotta go watch my videos. Got more.
Caesar gave himself more, but he either renamed Pompey or Dominions nerded out, and Ilwinter gave him that title.
Okay, that's true. Okay,
but
so
Pompey's a good one. Crassus is the one that auto casts that air spell that brings extra gold in a coastal province, and I believe his cap counts as a coastal province.
Yeah, it does. Holy crap. So he can come here and just auto-cast it all day.
If he'd gotten Crash this, not Pompey. Pompey's just a good leader.
Does he have any magic paths?
I believe so. But right now, Ermor's biggest fear is somebody casts Eyes of God.
Why is that?
Because there's nothing that scares a whole bunch of new players other than Scalaria's graph that goes from similar army size to them all to 20 times their army size.
Score graphs. Army size. He's still actually lower than Vanheim.
That's Ermor.
No, this is Ermor here.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Oh.
I'm toggling it now. The thing is, he's just starting to get his cultists online, and he wants to get basic research. His forts are just coming online as well. But oh my goodness, look at this. Okay, so he's got. Okay, no, that's not a big one.
So that fort right there of Ulm, that's from the site. He found the Jehevian wall, and it gave him a free fort.
That's nice. So we've had two of these now.
Yeah.
We got the Forgotten Fortress and the Jervalian Wall. Wow.
So right now, Scalaria's upgraded his forts to castles. So I think he's waiting for the couple mercs that are masons so that he can upgrade his forts into citadels and make a mage and a cultist every turn.
That's a key thing that I don't think a lot of players realize is that you're talking about the Mason mercenaries. Do you know what his name is?
It is the Sappers.
I remember the Sappers. I can't remember what his name was. Helmet. If you see Helmet as a mercenary, he's able to upgrade forts. What does that do for you?
Well, in Scalaria's case, it lets them make a mage and a cultist every single turn.
Now, of note, he's got two different types of forts here, and when we go to the fortification, it's 1 commander point bonus. This bigger one still has 1 commander point bonus. So I'm assuming it's the one after that looks, it looks the same. No, it's the one too. So he
goes fortified city, which is a castle, goes into a citadel.
Okay.
It goes palisade, fortress, castle, citadel, grand
so
citadel. If you're if you're a late age man.
Okay, so late age man can actually get one bigger than that.
Yeah, they get level 5 forts.
Okay, so Scalaria doesn't look scary yet, but I'm guessing in a couple more turns we're going to see it pretty badly. Vanheim's actually talking about Ashdod not taking a regen bless. He says it's mandatory. What do you believe?
It is mandatory. Your size 5, size 6 giants, where you can only fit 1 per square and you only have 2 attacks per square, you will get chipped down. Regen makes your 130 gold investment worth it.
He says he doesn't want the Ahimen. And I'm guessing that is a mage, correct? Where is Ahimen?
You're asking me to... It is...
To know things. Oh, he's talking the Anakites, the big Anakites. He doesn't want these guys. I don't think he has to worry about these. They do have magic damage on their swords.
Magic damage does nothing to glamour.
What is it? What? Because I thought magic damage, magic weapons were what you used against elves.
You use magic weapons against mist form elves. Vanheim's not using mist form.
Okay. So he's not using mist form. He's using mirror image, and magic weapons doesn't work against mirror image.
Correct. You also see that Scalaria's land is pretty gold rich.
Jeez, yeah, every single one of these provinces is almost, that's 270 gold. God, what a mistake.
Lowest province is 66.
God, that's ridiculous. I mean, I would love that. Like 66 and 69 are provinces that I want. I don't even know if this is his. Yeah, that is his domain. So he's got his dominion forming everywhere now. So really interesting play. Is there anything else that we need to see? Wait, hold on. Oh, this is the brand new turns. We haven't even looked at any of these things.
Ermor lost
is
a ton of undead to Woodsman.
It's stuff. He probably gets this back next turn. No losses. Another raid. Counter raid. Counter raid. Raid. Counter raid. 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 Yeah, that's losing nothing again. So Ermor had a good expansion turn, even as late as, what are we on, 14 now?
Yeah, and you'll see that Van lost more stuff to Shade Lords than he did to Ashdod.
Now, why is it that of 3 protection and 0 protection guys, he's having trouble with this rather than gigantic, giants? What makes these guys so scary?
The Fiends of Darkness.
These guys? So these guys are going to wreck face. Oh, man. I could see these guys being problems. But they're not even coming up. They're on guard commander, aren't they? Let's see.
Yeah, but you're fighting ethereal things with dark vision, a dark power.
Oh, yeah, nothing kills them. And then as soon as these... Oh, no. Okay, so they must have died somehow. What?
He wasn't on guard commander, so he killed 1. He killed 2, and then they all ran.
Shade Beast, with his reanimating bite, a length 0. Do they have high defense or something? They got medium defense versus it normally is higher. Routing, so 16. So yeah, it just must have been a lucky roll. But yeah, the Shade Beast killed the other one, and then this one, yeah, once again, Shade Beast, or no, that was the Shade Lord. Okay, so this guy got killed by the Shade Lord. So, yeah, disaster for Vanheim he got raised as a soulless warrior, dude. Those killed will rise again as soulless beings. That was a Vanheim guy right there. Do those guys go away at the end of the turn?
Yep.
Oh, sad. I was hoping we get to see him again. Okay, and that was and then another raid. So, who is winning? Well, I mean, I guess we kind of can see who's winning this. What do you do if you're the Ashdod player?
Curl in a corner and cry. At this point, he picked the wrong first target with a poor Ashdod build, and he has not gotten any elf countermeasures. He's been dead for 3 turns already.
Now, I'm going to disagree with half of what you said, because I believe the crying part is correct. I don't think you should go to a corner. I think you should be really loud and really, really, be very, very loud about your crying and try to get somebody else to hit the elves.
Well, that's what he did. He went into general chat and he complained and complained and complained and complained and complained. And we're not at the turn yet, but eventually somebody might listen to that.
One of the things that's been really interesting about hosting this the new player tournament where we're getting new players coming in, and they keep on saying, is this okay to do X, Y? Is it okay to last pick an Underwater Nation? Is it okay to, do this or that? Or, I'm trying to remember some of the other things, but I've gotten like 3 or 4 people asking, what's okay? So my question for you, what is okay in a general chat to do, and what are some of the things you shouldn't do in general chat?
You shouldn't cuss somebody out over a decision they make, and just don't belittle them. Other than that, everything else is fair game.
So keep it civil and don't insult each other.
Yeah. The other person may be, in your mind, a terrible human being for picking an elf, but he's still a human being. So, or she. So just treat them like one.
Now, one of the questions I have, and it's not related, let's say Van Gasloff comes over and just is like, I'm beating the crap out of Ashdod. Yeah, I'm awesome. How do you feel towards, like, spiking the ball?
It depends how hard he spikes it. If he spikes it as hard as I spike Grippa, that's acceptable. But if he spikes it harder, no, that's a little too far.
Okay, now what does this do for you as a player? Now, do you say that as this is like an ethic, moral thing, or is it a strategic? You shouldn't do that.
If you're winning a war, you should be dead silent about it. If you're losing a war, you should be as loud as possible about it.
That's one thing it really gets me, because there's one player that's at our server that he gets really loud about every single one of his victories. And whenever he does it, it screams he's losing. At least to me. Because
it to me screams a lack of experience, and by posting it up there, he's preempting a post from someone else. For example, Novell, I hate to pick on you, buddy, but he will always post, "Oh, good shot, good show. Ooh, I made a mistake in chat." And stuff like that makes people sit there and think, maybe I should go whack that Undead Nation a couple times and see what happens.
I was watching because I talked to one of my co-op partners, and he was telling me about how Novell was kind of smack talking how he had just won, and then I looked and like Novell was down to something like a handful of provinces. He's like, yeah, I won this big battle, and I'm looking and he's got like 2 or 3 provinces left, and I'm like, Novell, you need to stop bragging, because the moment that you start bragging, to me, it's that, it gives me one of two options. Either I'm going to vulture as soon as I can, and vulturing means you don't win the war because I win the war. I come in, so let's say Novell is winning against, is a good example. So, let's say that Van is a good example. So Van gets on chat and says, yeah, I'm kicking Ashdod's bottom. He gives a screenshot showing half of Ashdod's territory gone. Like, I've got 2 things that I want to do. I'm either going to hit Ashdod and try to vulture away as much as I can from Van. I'm going to, hopefully while doing this, do a couple, maybe try to even, like, bounce him if I can, because, like, it looks like he'd go from here to here. If I had troops that could go here and beat Van's, I absolutely would take this territory. And then just apologize. The other option is that he might get hit from the back. Is that correct?
Yeah. Or there's option 3, all of the above, where you hit both the person who's winning the war and the person who's losing the war.
And so, like, you look at, I mean, like, the third option is kind of more of where I'm going with this, because you have those 2 options, but Scalaria gets those 2 options, Airmore gets those 2 options, Ulm gets those 2, like, everybody gets to make their own choice with these, and so it ends up being option 3, which is okay for, I mean, Ashdod. In Ashdod's opinion, if people start vulturing him and start hitting Van, I think that's a win for Ashdod, in my opinion.
As long as they don't take his other fort, yes.
I mean, even if they take his southern fort and start hitting Van, Van might end up saying, okay, this is not worth it. I need to defend my territory back here, and I'm just going to take up to Ashdod, see, like, this line right here, maybe. And everything south of that, I'm just going to let go. I mean, I guess Ashdod still loses.
Yeah, there was no situation where Ashdod comes out winning from this. There was no situation 5 turns ago Ashdod came out winning from this. You don't attack a berserking nation as a non-regenning giant for one reason, that a berserker doesn't care how good your giant is at repelling or how good he is at surviving hits. They will hit you, and they will hit you hard until you kill them.
I have been amazed because I did not expect this result. I actually expected Ashdod to win if they had the bless for it.
I expect this result, even if Ashdod had regen.
I wouldn't take a regen bless. I don't think that regen is the way to go on. Or I mean, like regen's not bad, but I don't think like the hull bless is what I would do on these. What I would do on these is like give them more attack. I mean, why not? If they got 2 attacks, I mean, why not make them? You know, maybe even go. I think that GC put a flippin' quickness bless on these guys. And you get quickness attack, and I mean you're sitting at an 18 attack sword. I don't care if they're elves or not.
So you want to know what happened to those quickness Anakites?
They got hit by Einhars, didn't they?
They died to fatigue play.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but I understand that, but there's things to also deal with fatigue as well. And if you're gonna be a one trick pony, then you're gonna die to that one trick. So they're gonna see that, they're gonna come back and say, oh, we're gonna play fatigue. But then you come back with, I don't know, elementals or some sort of magic.
So the perfect, in my humble opinion, bless for Ashdod is regen followed by blood bond, because it means
what was the second one?
Blood bond. Regen blood bond.
Okay, regen, blood bond, and so just those 2?
That's it. That is the bare minimum. The rest is based on the nations that you're playing. With regen and blood bond, you'll be taking half damage, and it'll be dispersed across all of your giants, which will regen them.
And the Zerkers will all go Zerk.
Yeah, but you want to stop making Cheshite Anakites after a while, mainly because the Adam at Anaheim, we're calling them Anaheim now. They're not called Anaheim. The Anaheim Anakites are better.
So the Ahimen, these guys are better. I'm sorry, I don't see it.
They're statistically better across the board.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they got good protection. But just for the Zerker, I like these guys. Oh, but the hit points you get 6 regen rather than 5.
And you have more defense and more attack skill without having to be berserked, and more morale, but morale doesn't really matter.
But if you go blood bond regen, they're gonna get berserked, and if they're gonna get berserked, they're either gonna get berserked or they're gonna kill everybody. But like at that point, you've been successful.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
The hard van counter to any size 4 and above unit is the Einhars, which if we can pull up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me go.
You're gonna be like, oh hey, that's EA Van Sacred, and I'm going to be like, exactly. Even unblessed, these things are monsters.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with it. And what's funny is if they ever do Zerk, then their protection goes up to 21.
I don't think it's that high. I think it's 20.
I'm curious because you might be right. Does he have any fight? He doesn't have any fights with Einhir, so maybe we'll see later what happens.
Because remember, natural protection and armor doesn't stack 1-to-1.
Does it bring your natural protection up?
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought it was stacked on top. Okay, so yeah, it's only gonna bring you up to like 19. But yeah, still like 19 is really high.
And that's a 25 damage axe and a 25 damage broadsword at a 16 and a 15 attack respectively.
Yeah, and now you can only get one or the other in his cap, correct? You can't get one's not like cap only, one's not, right?
Correct. They're both cap only.
Okay, yep. And so you have to pick between the two. The thing is, it goes back to what I said. Like, this thing and this thing die equally to Einhir's. Personally, what I would do is I would get a bunch of these guys, stack them on the corner, and then in the middle, please tell me. Oh, I mean, slings, no, they wouldn't have enough protection. Well, what is this guy? Yeah,
that's one of their size 4 giants that you don't make because they're size 4.
Yeah, I agree. I just get like a bunch of the Edomites, and you just throw spears into those in the Vanheers, and like a 16 attack piercing, it might just zerk them.
So, funny thing about those Edomites, that becomes late age Gath's best unit because they gain some more attack scale
Yeah,
and they
this
gain
is
better armor.
terrible.
Yeah, because
If
a
I,
giant throwing a spear, put some strength of giants on that, that's a 20 range javelin.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't go for fire elementals, because to me the Einhir counter is fire elementals.
Yeah.
Like they don't hit, they get fire, and it's like a short. It's only a range 1, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
a short
2 range
attack,
1 attack.
which means the fire elemental is just going to burn them to cinders.
Yeah. We can spend hours talking about the misplays.
Yeah,
But the big misplay was attacking Vanheim.
I agree. Now, how many turns have we made it through this episode?
2.
Okay, good, because we're definitely at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Airmore has found out that they have more land down here, which is really good for them as well. And I'm kind of interested in seeing what's going to happen to Van, because there's still a lot of territory here, but, you know, they're pretty much finished with Ashdod down here. Ashdod did do a very good job. Oh, that's the other thing. Real quick, don't ever forget, F1, tab, brings you to your PD. If it ever says 0, then a scout can take your cap. He jumped on it with a scout, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
That's a mad lad right there. Okay, guys, well, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining us. Thank you once again for joining me, Balin.
No worries. Dartmouth.
Have a good one. Bye.